I'm going. Ugh. All right, good show, everyone. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. I wanted to just do another show because I had a beer, or fucking yeah, I had a beer, and I'm like, I'm ready to stream, and then the show's over, and it's like, uh, but I
Sorry
always
to
thought
disappoint.
we kind of should have done a video because basically no one's done a video where we talk about the whole thing with Preston that happened. I think we touched on it in one of our, like me and my brother did a previous stream, and we generally discussed some of the things, but it was a long story, and our channel was like nuked, so we couldn't even talk about it. In fact, wasn't that when our channel was banned? Like that whole Preston thing, fucking came down.
Yeah, it
And
was
he
like
got
right
Yeah.
after.
It was
Yeah.
right after that.
Yeah, my nose. I nose sprayed up, and my nose is just gonna be stuffy anyway. I get like that after a beer or two. Now I have two. Anyways, it's weird because I kind of want to talk about how, Preston, I guess is finally like maintaining hold of the trademark, and I thought that would be taken care of, but it's not that Preston is really obnoxious or stubborn about it. It's that all these other people want to fight for something that ultimately doesn't have much meaning. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Comicsgate never had any meaning. I know it means something to other people, but it's an empty thing, and I know that other people don't understand that it's empty. So one of the things that I just thought it was funny that Preston would be able to do that, which was really easy to avoid. That's something that we used to say on our old streams, is that the trademark for Comicsgate was really easy for Comicsgate to hold on to. We said that a billion times at this point. There's no reason for them to ever lose control of a Comicsgate trademark, at least by name or anything. And they lost control of it, and Preston was able to snatch it up easily in a very boneheaded, blunderous move by Comicsgate. All they had to do was put out one comic with Comicsgate as the name on somewhere on the cover or something like that, and they just never did it because you could tell, even to them, it was kind of an empty thing. Even to the creators of Comicsgate, like Richard didn't want to do it because he thought he was too good for it in a way, and Ethan thought he was too good for just Comicsgate. But it was also kind of a blowback from the whole Vox Day thing, which a lot of people to this day don't know what happened with that. Even I don't really keep up with that.
That was kind of a weird thing.
Yeah.
What it wasn't so much that Vox Day was trying to take over Comicsgate. From what I remember, and from what I actually listened to from Vox Day rather than from Ethan, and some of those videos are still available to watch, is that what he was looking to do, since he already had this mechanism to get books printed and published, he was offering that to Comicsgate. And I guess there was going to be some sort of imprint involved, like a Comicsgate imprint.
Yeah, like he wanted to publish with the name, like, and a logo and that kind of thing.
Right. But it was allowing all those other people to publish underneath that imprint. Sort of like what Ethan's now doing with these two, Creed and whatever else that other one is. Right.
Well, to the extent that that's going to happen, but also like I think, yeah, what Vox Day wanted to do was he wanted to be the publisher for Comicsgate.
Right. He wanted to offer them, he basically had it set up so they could get good deals on printing, good deals on distribution, and that's what he was offering to Comicsgate, and they freaked the fuck out.
And well, even if it wasn't a good deal, it's like you would have that avenue. You would basically have the potential for a new competitor to the entire comics industry, which is what Comicsgate was supposed to be complaining about. It's like, oh, the comics industry is rotten. And it's like, we should make our own thing. And through Vox Day, they could have done that. And they would have given Vox Day a lot of power that maybe he didn't even deserve. But
well, like Jim Tuner just said in the comments, that Vox and Ethan were tight and talking. I mean,
yes.
It's not like suddenly Vox showed up out of nowhere and said, "Hey, I'm Comicsgate and here's my imprint." And Ethan talked about Vox for months.
Yeah.
His book about
and
Vox
that got forgotten
Day.
about too. The narrative for that really changed.
If I went back a few weeks ago and watched the Vox Day live streams that Ethan did. And what's really strange too is how much of Vox's narrative, let's say, I don't know so much that it's a narrative for Vox, but it became a narrative for Ethan, and how much of what Vox was saying Ethan co-opted, right? And brought it into the Ethan lexion, so to speak. And yeah, at
Or
that time
lexicon,
too,
whatever.
right? Because Ethan had the deal going with Dynamite. So of course, even though he's talking to Vox Day behind the scenes, Vox didn't know about Dynamite. Nobody knew about Dynamite.
Yeah, that's actually very weird, is that we didn't know anything about the whole Dynamite deal because he kept that really secret, and War Campaign never even hinted about anything about that.
Yeah. Ethan had to set up a threat to Comicsgate at its birth that didn't come from the evil SJWs in order to cement his place at the head of the table.
While still claiming he was an indie, of course, which, is the exact opposite. Like, if you're working with Dynamite Comics, you're not an indie.
Yeah.
The exact opposite.
And that's actually how I saw it at the time too. I'm like, why? What is the point in Ethan talking about Vox all the time, talking about his ideas, talking with Vox on stream, introducing Vox Day to Comicsgate, and then suddenly, just doing an about face and turning on him the way he did? And it turns out, after all these years of watching Ethan work, especially now, it's even clearer what was going on.
Yeah, and a lot of people did know this, and it's very strange. A lot of people who maybe weren't even necessarily part of Comicsgate had known that Ethan and Vox Day were working, together for a number of months about making Comicsgate like an actual sort of publishing line. And then all of a sudden, like, a few people were like, oh, Vox Day's gonna, and it's kind of hard to say if Ethan didn't have a hand in people being like, oh, Vox Day's gonna try and take control. I don't want this sucks. And then Ethan was like, yeah, let's get rid of Vox. Or if Ethan was just watching and saw people saying that Comicsgate shouldn't be a trademark. It should be just the movement. It shouldn't be like a brand. And once Ethan saw that, he was like, yeah, like pretending he agreed all along. It's like, yeah, you guys are right. Wink, wink. Comicsgate shouldn't be a brand. Well, at the same time, Ethan was unironically telling other people that Comicsgate was his brand.
Yeah.
And other people, like even other creators in that, were kind of weirded out. And that was in 2018.
Yeah, it was really weird because he also, after Vox had left, Ethan was also making noises about starting, this all caps imprint and having other books underneath this all caps banner, which he quickly, kind of disavowed and pretended he never said.
Yeah, that was actually very weird because
he denied that he ever said it on Kiwi Farms. He's like, no, I never said that.
What's really weird about that, and which a lot of people apparently don't know, is that Nick Rekieta was planning to publish with All Caps Comics. He was
Yeah.
going to make a comic. This was in 2018. He was going to make a comic, and he was going to do it with Ethan Van Sciver. So that's why, as a lot of people noticed, including Nick's own friends, noticed that he was basically giving Ethan Van Sciver a lot of leeway.
And I like how sorry to interrupt. I like how you have Dean covered up by Jim's comment.
Yeah.
Dean just fucking deserves it tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Gone. Happy birthday, Dean.
Thank you.
And also, one thing Jim Turner mentions in this comment, though, a weird part of it we didn't know at the time was Ethan's deal with Dynamite. Ethan were in bed with Nick. That's Nick from Dynamite Comics, though. Not Nick Mullen from Cumtown, of course, as some people might confuse that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Dean from PA says Dean's here. Well, not anymore. Now that I highlighted the comment from Bean from PA.
There's a setting.
Dean never says anything. There is a setting in StreamYards that like moves everybody up when you highlight a comment.
Yeah.
Wait, where is that?
No.
I mean, is it in the bottom here or where?
It's in
Is one of these goofy ass buttons? No.
Yeah, like the branding banners or something like that. Yes, you are. Testify.
Settings. Okay. Shift videos up for comments / banners. That's on. Camera, no. Audio, no. Green screen, no. Guests. Guests must authenticate. Guests see viewer comments. That's on. Play a sound when guests enter. Wow.
Testify is demanding a retraction that he is not alien xenomorph. Well, I didn't say it, so I can't retract it.
I do I like your style, Testify. Testify totally isn't alien xenomorph.
Wink wink.
Nudge nudge.
Don't worry, Testify. I got your back. I got your back, man.
Steve said that Testify is alien xenomorph.
Well, there's also been it's been said that Oz is alien xenomorph, but I don't think he's
sending super chats to himself.
I don't think he's sending super chats to himself.
I don't think the fake Liam guy that was on with someone?
I don't think so.
How many Australian people are in this fucking stupid ass
show? By saying that Testify or Oz are alien xenomorph, we are definitely degrading alien xenomorph. He is a
at least we're not saying Liam is alien xenomorph.
He is a legend he is becoming a legend in CG.
Yeah, no, I don't think you are xenomorph. Wink.
Oh.
I got you, man.
By the way, one thing I want to point out, I really liked how in Common America 1 and 2, there's actually a continuity to, she gets a box that says Beans from PA, and it's like there's a continuity of that from the first issue to the second one, or the first volume to the second one, where they go unopened, so they just go bad.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny and cute.
I did I mean, Tim and Mark, every book that they do is better than the last. It looks better. The writing's crisper. I mean, everything about their work.
Yeah, you can tell there's like a sharpness and sort of Mark's more accustomed to the setting, and he's kind of used to it. It was still good in Common America 1, but it's like almost being so much more comfortable with everything by 2. And it's just sort of improving, and he's getting better at it.
Yeah, I can't wait for 3 in the crossover.
Yeah, I'm actually. It's weird looking forward to a comic, because last time I did that was Trees by Warren Ellis, and then by the 3rd or 4th issue it was dog shit, and I was like, wow, I looked forward to this fucking piece of shit. And the shit that was like in 2015, and we used to actually do just reviews and shit of like those individual issues, and I was like, this comic looks cool and I'm buying it. I'm finally a comic I could just, and I was doing the same for Saga. I was like, hey, this, here's a new thing that I don't have to follow 30 or 40 years of continuity to keep up with. It's brand new, so I can buy every new issue, and by issue 20 I was like, this isn't going anywhere, this sucks.
Yeah.
Jim Tuner mentions he is Bagel Goose. That's where he went. Fucking yeah. You know what? I forgot Bagel Goose. I remember Bagel Goose though from the Narkish server. Boy, those
Yeah.
were good times. It was one of the things I wanted to generally talk about though was the Preston stuff.
Wait,
Boy,
you should share my screen real fast.
Are you sharing? Can I do that without fucking up my shit? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, just click on that. You know what I like about StreamYard makes this completely foolproof. Okay, shift videos up for comments and banners.
Yeah, it's right there in
Is that all I have to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's clicked. It's activated right now.
Oh.
Here, let me click it and unclick it. See, yeah, it does it when I'm fucking not sharing a thing, but here I'm sharing my thing, and yeah, it's just as soon as I share
move me and Vicky around.
No. No, fuck you, Dean.
Hey.
You know, you're always telling people to move me around, and that's just really messed up.
I think you should just kick her, Thomas, personally. But
kick Vicky.
It's your show.
Is she roboting
It's
again?
your
Oh, wait, no, she's not.
Am I?
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because, again, what should be the difference between fucking Discord? I like Discord and all, but when it comes to those voice calls, yeah, it's the first thing to fuck up. It's kind of annoying.
You should play that video that I
it's a good one.
I should. You know what? Here's what I'll do. Does this work? There. Now you two are above. I'll be at that because fucking I'm running the show. I don't give a shit.
So sweet.
Cecil misses Bagel Goose's money. Yeah, I bet that didn't last too long. Bagel Goose was kind of a fan of ours, even I remember. Well, to some extent. Fan is a strong word. Even I should know that. Here I can play this. I did still want to go to talking about the whole Preston thing because we never really discussed how fucking gay AF that situation was with Preston. Because I didn't, I don't know. Should we play the video first or talk about that?
Yeah, let's play the video first, just for a little comedic.
Okay. You sent me
watch
this video.
Yeah, you watched it, right?
I did not watch this.
Oh no! Yeah,
I get to be surprised afresh.
Oh, it's great, man.
It is great.
Okay, it's 52 second. Well,
yeah, it's very short.
In fact, here, if I fucking Alt-Tab, there, it fills the whole thing now.
Going out of his way to help him out. So,
Who's talking in this?
This is, that was Pan. This is from tonight's D Live show.
I have not heard that guy talk about anything since Ethan was screaming, "Why aren't you crying?" I reposted that video, by the way, and someone was like, "Ethan doesn't sound like he's having a meltdown. He sounds completely normal here." And it's like he's screamed himself hoarse. And it's like, you know what? This is probably one of Ethan's sock accounts. It's fucking, I would not be surprised. Anyways, all right. I'll play this again.
I remember
job done. I remember when Lola tried to have cyber sex with me in a voice chat privately.
Okay.
That's Ro. Yeah.
First of all, gross. Second of all, he probably did it. But that's just my speculation. Irresponsible speculation.
No, it's not irresponsible.
Oh, it's completely responsible. All right.
And I tried to masturbate, but I couldn't.
Oh shit! I was joking when I said that. He actually did it. Oh, what's wrong with your fucking? What was this guy in War Campaign? Oh,
that's Ro.
Yeah,
I heard his dick never worked again after that.
Fucking Ro. Well, but fucking Ro. I mean, when was this? This was. I mean,
it's from tonight. It's from tonight's.
Well, this is from tonight, but when I wonder when fucking Tug's awful fucking swamp hog wife tried to do this, if it was like 2018 before the pictures of her came out.
Probably.
Ro's dick couldn't get hard after this point, and it's actually why Ethan kicked him to the curb.
Well,
very unfortunate stuff.
That makes too much sense.
Because I kept laughing. I just kept laughing. And then she said, "Ro, you gotta come on, Ro." And I just kept laughing because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't jerk off to her.
How does she know that unless you're on camera doing it? Like, if you say, "Hey, I'm trying to jack off to you, but I can't get my dick hard." First of all, don't say that in text. Just say, "Yes, I'm totally hard." That's just my speculation. That's
Thomas
my
gives
that's my
the
advice
best life advice
as a professional to row.
as a professional.
Voice chat because it was too funny to me. I just kept picturing Tug in the.
Okay, he says it was in voice chat or something.
Yeah.
It was too funny to me. I just kept picturing Tug in the corner. And then she said, "Ro, you gotta come on, Ro." And I just kept laughing because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't jerk off to her in a voice chat because.
Okay, yeah, so it's in voice chat. Again, though, if it's just voice chat, just say, "Yes, my dick is hard." Voice chat, as far as I know, does not have a tumescence monitor. So that's what's actually called in the medical field. Tim Lin would know that. Because
it was too funny to me. I just kept picturing Tug in the corner just jerking himself to me jerking it.
No.
You know?
Jesus Christ.
Did he say that as a joke, though?
Probably not.
It's hard. The only thing hard in this situation is that it's hard to say if he's joking or not, because
the only
he may
thing hard
not
in
have
that
been.
situation was Tug, apparently.
To be honest, I don't think Tug can get hard either. He's impotent. Let me just say, my personal advice to Ro and Tug, BlueChew.com are our sponsor today on the show. They're not actually. They're a sponsor of many other fine programs, many other reputable programs on in the podcast world.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Yep.
And for all you Kiwi farmers that need to know the specifics, that was in the bathhouse section of the War Campaign Discord.
Hell, bro.
Bathhouse.
Hell, all right. Please continue. I don't think we.
That actually is what really makes us incels, is our Discord server doesn't have any fucking cyber sex with like 800-pound fucking miscarriage machines who are incapable of carrying a child to term. If only we had some portion of our Discord server dedicated to that, maybe, we wouldn't be hopeless incels. We wouldn't be the incel brothers. Very, very shameful on our parts. You can see that these cool chads here fucking failing to have cyber sex with fat blobs, fucking these fucking frigid swamp hogs, and that's just Tug. Fucking.
That's just Tug.
Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
Bathhouse.
Hell.
Did one of them say hail?
Yes.
Yes.
They still hail each other all the time.
Hell, bro.
Bathhouse.
Hell.
When you see them in the chats, they'll, they're
That is autism, by the way.
Chats.
That's actually a symptom of autism. It's just repeating words without any context or meaning.
Or being part of Comicsgate.
Being part of Comicsgate. That's fucking. Let's see. Oh, we just have Carrot. Yeah, fucking. We did chase her off successfully, but then she came back. It was very disappointing.
I like Carrot.
Yeah, she's cool. That's the thing. We've known her since fucking shit. I was gonna say 2015, but that's when we got banned. She's been around. Her and Plub Comics have been reading. They read the original Shitty Webcomics blog since, at the earliest or at the latest fucking 2013 probably. So something about our blog appealed to the broads. I think it was actually fucking Cool Mods or Jerk's comic. Once he did Princess High Ground, that's when we got a lot more heat and attention. That's why my brother always brings up, Jerk should have done more Princess High Ground. And again, he has enough fucking pages of Princess High Ground to make a book. I was telling him that. I was like, he should do that, and he still hasn't. But that's up to him. But he was one of the mods on the originally Shitty Webcomics blog. And Princess High Ground is still a good comic. And you can ask Paul that because they repost Princess High Ground, especially a few specific panels. I could go through it. In fact, I think that would be worth going through. But anyways, we'll maybe do that later. Fucking Charlie Tanner here says PHG Princess High Ground #1 waifu. Even though she's the worst waifu, she's about a piece of shit. She's fucking she really thinks who the fuck she is for a fictional character. Charlie Tanner, nice fucking I don't know, but nice fucking Sammy Hagar icon you got there, fucking dork. You loser. But anyways. Here's the rest of this video, I guess.
House section of the War Campaign Discord.
Hell,
Bathhouse.
Hell, all right.
Some real
Please
energy
continue.
there. Hell.
Rape.
Oh no! What's happening? Oh no! Why is this happening? Why won't it stop? It won't stop. Why isn't this? No, it needs to not do this. What are these secret messages? We're trying to brainwash our viewers.
Going out of his way to help.
Okay.
Yeah, don't just kill it.
Anyways, as it turns out, VLC, the magic of VLC, will just let you queue up the same video over and over again. Yeah. Anyways,
I love my VLC player.
Yeah, VLC, for anyone who doesn't know, VLC is the best fucking video player, which is a shame because it's like, oh, what about Windows Movie Player? No, but yeah, VLC is the thing that will play anything nonstop, no holds barred. One of the basic things I also wanted to go over was the whole Preston thing, and I gotta say, right out, I still don't really hate Preston. I don't hate Preston. I don't dislike him. I'm not angry at him. The thing is that I have a standard where if somebody in any way defends like a dishonest person, then they're in the dustbin of history, I guess, or whatever the fuck. Where it's like, I don't want anything, like I don't have to hate him, but I just don't want anything to do with him. And it's not strict. It's not like a brutal, like fucking, back-breaking fucking human standard. But thing is with Preston's like, hey, Preston's cool. Preston's all right. He sent me like every issue of White Lily. I was like, oh, cool. It's cool that other people are making comics. I want to read this someday, but I still didn't read it. And fuck. The
those burps, those are classic.
Yeah,
it's a Guinness burp. It's a special.
I'm loading it. Well, I'm also having.
It has a certain like
another brown ale, so I'm double loading on it. But the yeah, as far as Preston. What happened was, he was doing all that stuff where he was doing there's this contest because he was going to have the Comicsgate trademark. And I'm like, good for you. But as far as I'm concerned, Comicsgate, the word, I would never personally think of wanting to even own it as a joke. But he was doing that and he was like, hey, here's this contest where send your idea and, we'll do a contest where we'll fund the art for a comic. I thought that was, it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of ideas sitting around, and I had one for like, easily a nice single issue that could kick off an actual character, and it would belong to the Comicsgate thing, and Preston would have some ownership or, some part of that. And I'm like, yeah, fine. I got, ideas that I can just throw out. And my brother wanted to help out, so he gave an idea. And other people clearly had interest enough, so there's this wiki that had all those fucking ideas, and it was a cool idea in general. And for some reason, the actual wiki was owned and controlled, like it was just fan-made wiki, so it's not like the website ownership and the URL and all that shit. It was just registered by Zombie Nomicon, who is a guy who kind of wormed his way. He wormed
No,
his
actually,
way
I think
for
that
her.
the I believe that it was originally registered by Preston.
Okay, so
On
Preston
the
did
fan
register it,
website. Yeah,
but like Preston.
he let Zombie have admin privileges.
So Zombie basically like probably knew the password or some shit for the.
Well, yeah, because he had admin. He was like, he was admin. So he
And
had
it makes
all
sense to have somebody who can help you out managing that shit, because it's a lot of work to manage a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, and Zombie seemed to dig it, and it was sort of, his thing. But I think
He was helpful. Like, that's one thing about Zombie is that he came in and was like, hey, I want to help. And he was, insistent on that. And it's like, hey, we could all use help. Everyone can use help.
yeah.
Would
But
you
little
like
did
to
we
make
know that
more
there
money?
were,
Sure, we all do.
there were alternative motives behind it.
Yeah, which is like, well, that's one of the things. Like, even Mecca made fun of that. It's like, oh, your napkin drawn IPs, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty low rent. So why would you steal it? But they did. Like, there's no denying that. In fact, even Mecca later had to admit, yes, we stole the control over that wiki.
Yeah.
But why did you do that? And there's no answer. Instead, he just started banning people who were asking.
Instead it was whoever totally not me. Whoever like outed it was just like super dishonest and just not a good person.
Which he also claimed, weirdly enough, Mecca claimed the outing of him and Zombie like stealing control over that wiki. He said that him admitting that was in some way private messages, and it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was
it was
Discord server.
there were
Yeah, it
multiple
was like
people on
public.
this
It was
server.
public between like 4 other people, but it was still public enough that other people could see the conversation and go leak it. And it wasn't you either, was it?
No, I wasn't in that Discord.
I
So
wasn't
somebody
given-
else.
Yeah, I wasn't in that Discord
I was
either.
given those
And it wasn't me either. Wasn't it like somebody from Kiwi Farms or something?
I don't reveal my sources, but
Well, I have no idea who it was. So
yeah, no, it was some anonymous people.
Just general people, like, because that's the thing. There's a lot of people around on Kiwi Farms. Like, Bagel Goose was being mentioned earlier, and it's like, oh, whatever happened to Bagel Goose? And it's like, I don't know.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
and that's basically what happens with a lot of people. It's just like, oh, I remember that name's familiar. What happened to them? I don't know. But sometimes they show up and it's like, yeah, I was in this. Here's some messages that were in a chat room that I was in. And all of a sudden, Mecca's claiming they were private DMs and that his privacy was violated.
Well, yeah, he tried to like infer. He didn't outright say it, but he tried to like right when it happened, he tried to like infer that I somehow hacked his account.
Yeah, he claimed his privacy was violated. Like, he was very squirrely in that one stream where he was going back and forth, and a lot of people I knew were like, wow, Mecca's being really fucking weird with this.
My favorite line was that was the most dishonorable thing I've seen. And I have 2 honorable discharges. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I sorry. Now that I lost total track of what I was gonna say. But for me, I think what was really kind of disheartening was the reveal, and not so much that I was disappointed in Zombie, because at this point, by the time I saw the Discord, that archive in the Discord, we'd already known about him.
Yeah, Zombie had given off a lot of like, he had been pissed off at us. Like,
yeah, all of the Australia space shit had already come to light by the time I saw that, so I wasn't disappointed, but it became obvious that he had some sort of financial scam that he was planning.
Yeah, which was weird because, again, the gain would be so low. You wouldn't fucking really get anything out of it. Or Zombie Nomicon would not really get anything out of it, aside from maybe ownership rights of a character.
Well, I think that's kind of what he was angling towards. I mean, there was going to be starting a trust which would pay for people's books so they didn't have to crowdfund.
Yeah, but
There was also the idea of helping people crowdfund.
yeah, starting crowd funds, and I think that's where
starting
like
crowdfunds for people. So I think that was part of it. Helping people. I'm sure that would have cost you some sort of green.
well, that crowdfunded money would have gone straight to him.
Right. And then the trust, who knows what kind of strings that he would have, tied your IP to in order to get that trust money.
And Preston was on board with that kind of idea too, where Preston was like, any merchandise or anything that comes out of this character, he would half own.
Well, no, I think it was you would own everything except he would own half of any movie rights. So everything else would have been yours.
But that also was like up front, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there
like
wasn't
Larry
anything dishonest about
it. Yeah, he wasn't public about that, and that's why I didn't have a problem. Like even if my character just straight up got stolen, as long as fucking I would still technically have some legal right to say, well, hey, this character, I didn't just sign away this character. I fucking agreed to this and this, but
yeah. So like Larry, the guy who won the contest, anything that comes out of his book is
somebody
his.
Won the contest. Holy shit!
Yeah. The book's really, really good. And I've seen some of the art. It's pretty cool. Well, but Larry owns the IP, and the only thing that Preston would own, like I said, would be half of the movie rights if it ever got made an option to become a film. And the chances of that happening, of anybody's book being optioned for film are so incredibly slim.
Yeah.
I mean,
you look at all the money in giant snare quotes that Cyberfrog allegedly made. And that still doesn't have a movie deal. I mean, Youngblood, there was huge talk of Youngblood getting a multi-million-dollar movie deal with Steven Spielberg was going to be involved in that shit. Nothing ever happened to that. So
look how many times, Doug's been optioned and nothing has ever come from it too. So, that kind of thing is, that's, pie in the sky. And you'd have to be really, really something in a small indie book, maybe, but that'd be so far down the line.
And it's nice to just have the idea, but yeah, ultimately it's like, I mean, where's the money coming from? If, as Preston said, he would, after the scam got revealed where Zombie took control of the thing and was revealed to be a scammer who was basically on the run from the law. After that, Preston still said, well, he might still come up with his part of the money for the contest.
Yeah, well, it's
this
funny.
guy's a fucking he's a criminal.
I warned him as soon as that stuff came out. The moment
he didn't need to be warned either, though.
No, but when that stuff was outed, I saw it and I hit him up instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, because I started looking into it, and I'm like, yo, Preston, this shit is legit. This shit about Zombie is true. And Preston's just who cares as long as he can write?
And it's
what?
No, that's even if he can write, no. The answer to that is always going to be no. And Comicsgate obviously was the warning. It's like saying, it's like if Ethan Van Sciver came up to him and said, hey, do you want to dox some of my customers for me? And Preston would be like, sure, yeah. Fucking, you're going to give me money? Yeah, here's some money to dox some of my customers. It's like Preston would just say yes to that. And there's no question about that because, of the zombie thing. The zombie thing is proof of that.
I had said something to him too. And I told him that he needed to take Zombie off the wiki, is what I had told him.
Yeah, he needed to do something.
I said, you need to, take Zombie off the wiki, revoke his admin privileges. You need to do something. Even if you're not saying something, you need to do something. Saying something is always better because he never did. I mean, there's never really been, I mean, unless he said something on the writer streams that I stopped listening to, he's never really said anything publicly about the zombie thing. And then there was this stream where Mecha and Zombie announced the change in the name of the
Oh,
of
that
the
was a
wiki.
shit show.
And that was the day that was basically the day that they'd taken it over. That Zombie took it over.
The fact that Mecha
completely.
would do that too shows that Mecha had even less scruples, like as a human being.
He's got 2 honorable discharges.
Yeah,
You watch your mouth.
it's in a way more dishonorable. You could even call it stolen valor to a degree, to even claim like, hey, we got this thing. And exactly what was he going to do with it? Like, why do anything even remotely like that for any reason, even for a bad reason? Can't even think of a bad reason to do that. But then we're dealing with people who are so fucking stupid. It's like, that's the thing about comic book fans, is that their thinking is so far down. I'd have to fucking just lay on the ground and like flatten myself out as much just to get down to the level of what they're fucking constantly thinking of. It's really fucking bizarre.
And for me, it was actually a couple of problems, but the first that came about for me was just the sort of public apathy. I mean, he went on.
Yeah, Preston's hand waving was the problem I had.
Yeah, he went on Mecha's stream that day and was like, you can't do this, yada yada yada. But he already knew that something was going to come. I mean, he had to have known once a Zombie was outed, that he was going to have to make some sort of power move, right?
No, but
yeah, there's a liability.
He didn't know that.
If there's a liability around you, get away from it, disconnect yourself from it as soon as possible.
I told him, and he was just like, oh, no, I don't see what the big deal is. Like, he didn't know, dude. He just had...
No, I mean, he should have. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the public apathy after is what really kind of... it just rubbed me wrong. I wasn't expecting hair rending and and mea culpas, but just something. He never said anything, and there were all
that
those
was the bizarre thing.
There were people involved in the contest. There were the people that were that had their stuff up on the wiki, and but nobody was being told anything by Preston, and that's that's kind of hard. I mean, most of us were all in a Discord together, but he never even said anything in there. So
yeah, it's something that was actually incredibly easy to come out in public and say, okay, Zombienomicon turned out to be a scam artist, and so I'm just disconnecting from him, and all the stuff I've been doing, I'm going to keep doing anyways. That's it. That's all you needed. Very easy, but instead he was like, no, Zombie's cool. And it's like, okay, something's really wrong with Preston now, and still is to this day, because he now lies about it, which is very bizarre. I mean, there's apparently something called the 10 Suggestions in this gay Jewish book called the Bible, where it's about it's this big book where a bunch of people from the Middle East lay out their rules for how to subvert Western civilization, something like that. It's sort of like the protocols of the elders of Zion, something like that. But in it, there's this part called the 10 Suggestions, and it says that bearing false witness is totally cool. And I don't know why it says that, but a lot of Christians certainly prostrate and even prostate themselves in front of that belief that lying is a morally good thing. Now, why they do that, I don't know. I would love to think that you don't have to be a fucking godless, dirt-worshipping heathen to think that lying is in some way wrong. But apparently, if you're a Christian, you're a paused out the fucking ass K-word worshiper when it comes to lying. And personally, I think that's morally incorrect, which is why Christianity is morally incorrect. QED, as I have just demonstrated, case closed, bar open. But that's just my opinion, but I'm correct. Anyways,
Yeah.
the whole thing about that is that a lot of people just don't even question that. They like, if I said that all of that is a joke, but a lot of people completely are like, yeah, lying is totally cool, and I'm a Christian. And it's like, how? Wait, how do you square that circle? And then nobody does. Everyone just sits around like fucking morons, being like, oh yeah, that's morally or that's okay. I don't fucking, I don't get it, but I can't look into other people's souls if they even have them. I know I got one. If I was fucking me and my brother, we would be assumed into heaven. All the other Christians go straight into hell, where they belong, where fucking God wants them to go for fucking not being us. I guess that's just my assumption. That's between me. That's between what I know and God knows. And what's the difference? Apparently nothing anymore.
Based.
Anyways, actually Cheyenne was mentioning some stuff. Mecca thought Zombie was going to get him a 40K comic, I think it was. That goes to show that's actually sums up the incentive. Every time this shit happens, it's like somebody thought they were going to get something out of it. So when people defend Zombie, it's because they thought the same reason why Preston defended Zombie Nomicon is because he still actually thought that a guy who scammed Australia was still going to give him $1,000 for a comic book contest. Mecca thought that he was going to get like some kind of fucking, like, first of all, a 40K comic. That's like, really, that's what you're going to get is somebody else's IP who you will probably never get any rights to make. That's really stupid. But then again, the Mecca wouldn't be the first to think that. So yeah, it's just this fucking mess as far as the whole thing is concerned. And Preston had every warning. There's also a very strange situation that was going on where me and my brother were like, something's really wrong with Zombie. And we told somebody else in the comics world in general that we know. And so me and my brother just had a chat with them over a stream that wasn't, well, not a stream. It was like a voice chat that wasn't recorded or streamed or anything, because like sometimes you just got to talk to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, something's really wrong with Zombie. And it was like 3 days later, Zombie got outed as doing this fraud. And it's like, wow, we really called that. And a few days later, Preston's response was so fucking weird that we did another call where it's like, something's wrong with Preston too. And we've seen how that's played out. And, I don't hate Preston or anything. And if he has success in comics, that's fine if it's on any merits. But so far, I don't see any merits morally. He's fucking, Preston's just been nothing but a whore, really, as far as the whole situation with willingly signing up with frauds after they've been revealed as like being on the run from the law. And tonight, while you were streaming earlier on DA's wonderful channel, it's either DA's channel or Vicky, the Vickyverse or DA Talks. Subscribe to them. Like, share, comment, subscribe. But somebody mentioned that Preston was on with War Campaign, what's left of War Campaign.
Yeah.
And that was weird.
No,
I was like, why?
I want to make clear too, I don't hate Preston. I don't dislike Preston. I'm not.
I still don't either. Yeah.
I'm not.
I want to make it clear.
Angry at Preston. Dean doesn't like Preston.
I don't hate Preston either.
But he doesn't. He does dislike him.
I do dislike him.
And I'm no longer angry at him, and the anger actually had nothing to do with Zombie.
It's more confusion, if anything.
Well, no, my anger had a whole different thing that I'm not going to really delve into.
There's a
But
lot
it
of
had more to
it
do
was
with
bizarre.
yeah, it had more to do with Mecca than it did anything else.
Yeah,
But he's so
Mecca
honorable.
was dishonest on a level that's like just out of nowhere. Mecca, like Jim Tooner said, the topic tonight was his heel turn. Where is that? Oh yeah, topic. Tonight's topic is Preston's heel turn, and the thing is that it's like I didn't even think of it that way as Preston having a heel turn. I thought the way I saw it is the way I seen it with a lot of other people is that it was just gullible, and until I find out like something, and until I find out something specific where it's like, oh yeah, they knew this guy who was a rapist or something, and he tried to cover up for the rape, and it's like, whoa, okay, I guess they're not just gullible, but they're actively complicit in a fucking in criminal activity or that kind of shit. And that's not Preston, but as far as when Preston said he was okay with Zombie being a scammer, it's like, okay, no, then
because he hadn't scammed him, is what he
Yep.
said. It was okay that Zombie was a con artist because he hadn't tried to con him
Mhm.
until,
Yeah,
but
and then Mecca also. Well, it was that's the weird thing is Mecca and Zombie both like conned him, and then he was still okay with it though. But it's like I don't know. Did anything even happen after that? Because as far as I know, Preston has never said anything bad about Zombie.
I want to say he kind of sort of gave a soft zombie bad on Mecca's first Cope stream, but nothing, nothing that, well, and plus Mecca privated it right away. But he's never
Which is
said
weird
anything
because
about
why
it.
would
He's
you private a stream?
Oh, he
that you don't
privated
want
it
people to
because
see?
I called him a faggot.
Oh yeah, that's right. You
Yeah.
use the gay F slurs. Can you not use gay F slurs? Don't say faggot. Don't call Mecca a faggot. Stop saying he's being a faggot all the time.
Jim, I knew you were talking about like a pro wrestling heel turn. I think Thomas did too.
Yeah, I fucking.
It was a very
that's what I'm
slow.
thinking, is like,
But it was
I
sort of a.
totally
is
got
this
it.
what like when Sergeant
didn't get
Slaughter
shit,
turned
but-
I did.
turned into the bad guy and was anti-American? I'm
Yeah.
done with wrestling now.
Yeah, but it was sort of a soft. It was a soft heel turn. It wasn't, he didn't
Well,
come
in a
out.
way, though,
He
that's,
didn't come out banging somebody in the back of the head with a chair.
but I mean, in a way, that's worse, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all, that's the kayfabe. That's all for show. Even though I think my brother was so pissed off that Sergeant Slaughter became anti-American. He's like, fuck this wrestling shit. This is gay. But the thing is, that's,
It is.
that's still all for show. It's the theater or whatever the fuck. But with Preston, it's like it wasn't part of the theater. It's like fucking, here's your opportunity to say, this is wrong, I'm against it. And instead he was just sitting around like a dumbbell, just fucking being about that. So I actually need a break. Could you guys just go on for a couple minutes?
Sure.
All right. Just about Preston, whatever. I don't care.
Wait, what did he say?
Just about Preston or whatever.
No,
Yeah,
before that.
He's taking a short break and he wants us to hold down the stream and keep it going. Which
Okay.
you're failing to do here, Dean.
Hey, no, I
but
just
yeah.
asked a question, Vicky.
Testify, I would totally pay to watch you give Dean a headshot with a chair.
He would have to be able to stand.
Just roll you over first.
He must have a lot of like upper body strength.
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that
No,
works.
that's not saying.
How else are you supposed to lift yourself in and out of that thing?
I thought he just stays in it. Like he sleeps in it, showers in it.
What do I do with you, Dean? But let's see. Sergeant Slaughter joined the Iron Sheik and General Adnan. Yes, I remember. And Testify says he wouldn't need to be able to stand to hit you with a chair.
Yeah, we just addressed that.
Yeah. Well, no, he said it, not just me.
Yeah.
You haven't addressed shit, Dean. You're not talking.
At least we can understand me, well, during the stream.
It's not my fault. That was not my fault. Going through Discord just fuck shit up sometimes.
I don't know. I heard Thomas just fine.
Yeah, you heard me real fine too. Never bothered to say nothing if you didn't.
What?
Bad. You suck as a partner if you couldn't hear me well and didn't bother to say anything.
I did. And then you said, anyways.
Testify had to DM me on Discord.
I
Hey.
said it.
Ew, queer.
Huh?
Alien xenomorph?
Is that who that? Wait a minute. Alien xenomorph was testify the whole time? I knew it. What was the thing that he threw a big pissy fit about? Like, oh, Rose, Big Steve, was it? It was like, oh, he hated Roe or whatever. I was like, no, don't say that or some shit. And he had a fucking panic about it.
I don't know.
It was like 18 months ago or some shit. I don't fucking know.
God, everything goes so fast in Comicsgate.
Seems like 1,000 lifetimes ago.
It all is lifetimes ago. Honest to God.
Testifying the chat just said he's alien xenomorph. I can't believe he just said he's aliens. Oh, it says not.
Not.
I missed the word not. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
I rescind everything that I just said.
He's not.
And crack him.
But it would be okay if he was. I wouldn't be
literally
ashamed.
Nothing wrong with it.
I would not be ashamed of claiming to be alien xenomorph.
Yeah, testify. There's literally nothing wrong with being a Jew. Sergeant Slaughter joined Iron Sheik and General Adnan. Here's the thing: Iron Sheik these days cooler than Sergeant Slaughter. Obviously, he's lasted longer.
Except Sergeant Slaughter follows me on Twitter, and the Iron Sheik doesn't.
Oh shit! Well, all right, never mind. I guess I have to change my opinion. You're gonna betray me the same way that Zombie Namakan betrayed us.
I will.
That's another thing that's weird is that we never even we don't even talk about like the way that fucking little crybaby bitch fucking Ethan Van Sciver, or also known as Rethan Van Cryber, is always claiming that he's getting backstabbed and betrayed, and all the people that want to be him start repeating that too. That's why Liam starts saying that. But when the whole zombie thing happened in Preston, none of us ever claimed like, oh, Zombie backstabbed us and Preston, he betrayed us. It's like, no, they're just, people are just people. It's like a very bland reality. And the thing is, again, none of us say, like, my brother doesn't hate Preston either. He's like, oh, it's just kind of sad for Preston. We just kind of feel bad for him. But at the same time, it's like, if he has success in comics or something, it's like, okay, good for him.
It's weird, though. If you listen to, like, Ethan or even some of the people on read some of what's written on Kiwi Farms, one would think that we had some sort of big, huge public meltdown over it. That we were all so broken up that we couldn't do anything.
Oh, the schism
about Zombie,
anti-comics.
Yeah, exactly. The breakup of anti-Comicsgate. And I was like, none of us were ever, we were just here. We were
part of we didn't make a counter movement or anything. We were just people who were here who knew stuff that we knew stuff that other people didn't know, basically. And some of that stuff was just out in the public. But what happened was other people who had been in Comicsgate came to us, me and my brother kind of more specifically, but I know Vicky and DA are slightly more I know Vicky's more aware of it too. But that, people who had either left Comicsgate or had been part of it or whatever, other supporters, other creators, mostly in public, said, yeah, this stuff happened and we don't want anything to do with this weird shit in Comicsgate where, the stuff about Ethan Van Sciver doxing his own customers is not creepy behind the scenes private information. All that shit's completely out in the public. Most people just don't want to admit it. That's all there is to it.
Okay, but like at the same time though, right? Like going back to the huge meltdown thing, there was some like fucking little bit of a meltdown though. Like,
well, it was.
Well, there was
not
Mecha
good. That
meltdown.
zombie. That's
well, there
what
was
happened with
Mecha, and
Zombie
then there's
Nomicon
fucking
was a scam
Preston
artist
going out
who
there.
ingratiated himself.
Well, there was
to,
that, but then there's also Preston going out there, fucking trying to convince people why I'm like a bad person. You know what I mean? Like publicly and privately. Like, I don't know. Fuck that whole situation. Fuck Preston too.
But for the most part, there wasn't a lot of, we did, and nobody really talked about it. We did like a stream and a quarter about it.
The Preston stuff, but how a lot of it hadn't been talked about because on our Discord one day Preston had a fucking meltdown. It was only a couple months ago too, while we were banned. Preston just had this giant meltdown because Dean and Vicky had blue names on my Discord because I wanted to be able to do maybe a stream through Discord. And Discord sucks for trying to do a stream through it. But I wanted to see, how is this going to go if I make a new channel? I wanted to do it through DLive because that's the only avenue I had left. So,
well, it's because the name of the group is Delightful Pals.
Yeah, I did like
Dean was your
name. Yeah,
Dean is one of the Delightful Pals, and so that's what the meltdown.
And the thing is, with Dean and Vicky, it's not like I really know you. But in order to let you speak in the voice chat, I had to give you the blue name, the Delightful Pals blue name, which is usually reserved for people I've known for at least a few years, like Kay or Carrot or Crate or fucking, some other people who've been following us for a year, or not a year, but for a few years since the original blog, or Crate in a sense, I've known him since like fucking 2002 or 2003. So, about 20 fucking years. Of course, I'm going to give him a blue name, something like that. But that's really for if we're going to do a stream together through the Discord chat, voice chat. And I had a free-for-all chat, and it's like nobody uses this. So I just deleted that. So I just had the one voice chat. And it's like, on Discord, you can have a voice chat with anyone privately. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go into a fucking server to have a voice chat. You can just have a voice chat with anyone. So, but I added you two there so that in case we wanted to do... In fact, I think we did do a DLive stream with at least one of you.
Yeah, a couple.
So that's why I gave you the blue name.
Yeah.
And Preston, it was like, when was it? It was in like October or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Preston had this giant fucking meltdown because you had blue names and he didn't. And it's like, if I'm going to be on stream with you, just invite me to a StreamYard or something. Who gives a shit? But he took it personally, like a personal insult. And he fucking went off and started fucking melting down and just fucking yelling. And of course, it was in the fucking stupid ass Comicsgate drama channel. It's like, we have all these other channels where we talk about all this other stuff, but of course it's the Comicsgate drama channel. Is all he gives a shit about.
No, what had happened was somebody else said something and it was about Preston and they tagged me, and Preston has me blocked on Discord. It was in your server, and so he blamed me for something somebody else said, and went on like a spurg out, posting like 300 different fucking like messages about me, and it was all due to what I think it was Delta said.
Was that on another channel? That's on another server.
No, it was in your Comicsgate channel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Somebody was mentioning that on our fucking channel, and I was mostly ignoring that. I was like, whatever. So yeah, there was that, and I was like, I'm not even reading this. And my brother, when that happens, my brother doesn't read any of it. It's like, just scroll there. Now it's all marked as read. The end. So anyone taking it personally, like fucking. I hate to even give Mark Waid credit, but when he said it's all pixels on his screen, what he was trying to point out is that like you shouldn't take it personally because you're always going to have criticism from somebody, and what exactly does it matter if it's just some fucking nobody who has no clue what they're talking about, or if it's just trying to drum up drama. I'm sure in comics, even a faggot like Mark Waid is constantly facing people who are trying to drum up drama about him, even if they're justified. So he has to take this attitude of like, it's just pixels on the screen. Because at some point it really just is. It's not fucking significant, unless you have a really thin skin sometimes. And I guess fucking at some point, for some reason, all that shit got under. I remember specifically, though, he was so pissed off that you had blue names.
Yeah, that definitely.
No, it wasn't because they were blue. It was because Dean was a delightful pal.
Yeah, which is just the delightful pal name.
How dare you have a delightful pal like Dean who would invade someone's privacy the way that he did to Mecca, and blah 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 blah. And I'm not going to defend Dean to Preston because I've already done it privately. So, I think.
Hold on. You have to shut up now because I'm not going to let you talk. DA, you're gone too. None of you can talk now. Now I get to say all of the words in the entire stream. Oh, I know.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to have to rearrange this. Oh, that's gay.
God.
Oh, okay. Okay. What were you saying something? But yeah, the Mecca thing though, like the fact that Preston is straight, there's no way around it. Preston sipped for Mecca for no reason.
Yeah, and I had issue with that because it was after Mecca was shown to be less than trustworthy, and
he made himself show that even.
And I didn't want to have anything else to do with Mecca. But it was like Mecca was being, forced at me from Preston. I told him one day I didn't want to ever stream with Mecca again. And the very next day I go into the writer's stream because it's still the contest. I have to be there.
Yeah, you were one of the judges.
I became the judge, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Because Mecca apparently did something that kind of made him. I mean, Mecca and Zombie. It was.
Mecca was never a judge. It was me, Zombie, and Preston originally.
Something happened with Zombie.
Yeah,
oh, no.
Zombie showed up for the very first one and then never showed up again. And then
this was like all within days of Zombie being outed as a guy. I can't even find that video on YouTube anymore, by the way.
This was weeks before. We had the very first writer's stream contest stream, and then the next week Zombie was nowhere to be found. And so after the Mecca's Cope 2.0 stream, I go to the writer's stream. I'm backstage, and as soon as I click OK to join the stream, there's fucking Mecca, and I was just like, I told you I don't ever want to be on stream with this man again. But
yeah, I personally,
man.
By the way, I have the same for the same reasons, of course, is because he is dishonest. That's all it can take.
Yeah. And so
Justify says Vicky equals hypocrite for streaming with Mecca.
True. True.
I did it because I had to. I felt I had to. I mean, I was a judge for the contest. I had already told Preston, you know, we were already all of us were mods in Preston's Discord up until
Oh, that's right. I was in
kicked
Preston's
yeah,
Discord.
he kicked Dean right after the stream because he was all pissed after the Mecha Zombie stream. He was all pissed at Dean. So he kicked Dean. And, you know, I'm like, I will be professional out in public, but I expect some courtesy, you know, from Mecha in the mod channel. I just expect courtesy.
Oh yeah, and then
And
Mecca had that giant fucking meltdown in the mod
right.
channel.
But I was, you know, so I'm like, I will be professional for this stream. And even though Mecha was taking digs at me, and that was the
Which, if anyone had the right to do that, certainly wouldn't be him.
no, 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 and you know, and this was after, you know, at this point this was like a week of Mecha digging at me, and I just and I had it. And I said, I just can't do this anymore. It's why I left right after the final contest. Once the winner was announced that night, I left Preston's Discord and I haven't been back.
Although Mecca got the last laugh with that fucking awesome comic he put out.
Yeah, the one we're still waiting for, the one that'll never
I mean,
happen.
since that happened, fucking and Arcs, I gotta say, if you're listening, I miss you, pal. I hope you're relaxing or something. But since that happened, I fucking had Arcs start drawing a comic, finish it, release it, and it's been on sale for a couple of months now. Where I don't know what anyone else's excuse is, because a lot of these other people have gotten, like, you know, fucking 5 or 6 figures even. And in fact, I was rereading Common America a few days ago. I was kind of laughing because there's near the end, I think it's Common America's boyfriend sort of mentions, like, it's a shame that you you know, sort of have to miss out on that 6-figure deal you got. That's a direct. I know a lot of people don't know that, but that's a direct reference to Comicsgate and Ethan, with the whole, you know, oh, this is $200,000, $500,000. You could have gotten that if you just stuck with Comicsgate. All that stuff. It's like a direct reference to that, and it's weird how people like don't even see that. But I don't want to fucking rub that in people's faces, because for some reason a lot of people in Comicsgate still really like Tim and Mark's comics, and they should, because they're actually good comics.
Yeah, they are.
But a lot of those references are direct digs at everything in Comicsgate too.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they get that money and they still to this day haven't put out their comics. And it's like, how did I beat you with 0? And it's because, you know, in some cases, I know in Arx's case, it was because he knew that we actually had something good, and he wanted to be part of an actual good work instead of just empty words and fucking sloganeering and bullshit and like marketing bullshit.
I have one book that is now 14 months late. And
you still don't have Donald delayed comic.
No, I'm still waiting for Brutus. I like I said earlier, I put in a change of address with Donald. He received it. Acknowledged receipt of my change of address and told me he was shipping it next week. So we'll see what happens, but you know. But the
But I
other
mean,
one,
even if you got it, like,
yeah.
I have the digital version and I didn't even read it because, like, is it really good? Is it really going to knock my socks off? Probably not. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. No, it was all right. I mean, it was all right. It like every Comicsgate book out there could have used an editor.
Yeah.
Not just for the
That's
words
another thing, though,
and
the whole Nasser situation, where it's kind of similar to Preston, but in a sort of different direction. And the thing is, yeah, again, like most of us, we don't hate Nasser, but it's
right.
like I'm not really interested anymore.
Yeah, I don't hate Nasser. I'm disappointed I'm actually more disappointed with Nasser than I ever was than I am Preston.
Yeah,
Only
I understand that fully. I'm not disappointed. I feel like he's just trying to do whatever he can. He's hustling, and it's kind of a sleazy thing to do, and sometimes it's just necessary. And I would feel like so nauseated with myself to do it. But anyone who does it, it's like, yeah, I understand. I can relate to some degree.
but you can hustle without having to sell your soul to Ethan Van Sciver.
Well,
No,
I think to some degree, to really hustle, you do have to, but also,
I
like,
think
you
Nasser isn't capable of walking the line he needed to walk,
should.
of still being able to maintain the support from people who have supported him since he left Comicsgate, and try to gain the support back of the people in Comicsgate. It's a very fine line that Nasser doesn't have the talent to walk. And you know, because he
I
doesn't
mean, really, who
doesn't
does have
have
the
to
talent
well,
for
he just doesn't have to go, you know, he didn't have to start it off by insulting literally everybody who supported him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that it wasn't necessary. And
Although I
so
don't know why he hasn't insulted us yet, unless he did, and I haven't
it
watched.
probably has, and I just haven't paid any
I
attention.
mean, it could be behind the scenes too. And the thing is, but the thing is with us, it's like, I mean, me and my brother have even talked about that. It's like, if Nasser has to trash us in public or private, it's like, whatever you have to do, I don't care. But the thing is, at the same time, it's like, we're not going to support you while we're doing it.
Right.
I'm not going to be like, oh, Nasser's still okay. It's like, you know, whatever. If it gets him bigger business with other people, I'm fine with that. But then again, me and my brother are kind of used to having that reputation too. Fuck. Came back. And I have to admit, bad comic reviews streams saying editors are the man holding back CG creatively, obviously, is pretty funny, actually.
It's pretty fucking funny. The thing is they need editors for the art too, which is, you know,
Well,
for
especially with
everything.
Ethan. Ethan desperately needs some fucking editing for the art because did you see that somebody posted the line art for what's that gay new book he has that
The Rainbow Brew?
the Rainbow Brew.
Yeah.
Like the line art for that is terrible. Like it's incompetent. It's bizarre because I'm definitely not a good artist and I'm fucking not an art critic necessarily, although I've over a lot of years, like since 2010, I've spent a lot of time around other artists who sort of point out a lot of shit. And it's like the anatomy is wonky, even for the even for that anatomy, it's just a fucking mess.
He's been doing this character. He's had this character in his head for 2 years. He drew the first cover 2 years ago on stream, right?
Yeah, and then it still hasn't fucking been
and it wasn't until yesterday now that he finally announced on Twitter that he decided the dude had 4 fingers instead of 3. Like he couldn't decide if the guy was going to have 4 fingers or 3 fingers.
Well, I assume you saw that through his Twitter feed that you're not blocked from or something.
Oh no, I'm blocked from his Twitter feed.
Well, somebody else must have seen it then, I guess.
Somebody else must have passed that along and shown me. Yes. Yeah.
Well, you know, that's a good point.
But yeah, did you see the picture that they had? I don't know if you saw it up on KF, but it was the line art, and then there was the cover that Kyle had colored.
Yeah, I think that's actually what I didn't see it on Farms, but somebody did show me just the line art, and then the they mentioned that the background was just straight up off of fucking Google.
Yeah, it's just a picture. It's just a landscape picture that he's gone ahead and he's just, you know, rendered
for
a
what
little
he's
bit
paying the color for what he's paying Kyle. I don't fucking blame him for just pulling that up. I mean, Kyle is doing the heavy lifting.
Because Ethan drew no background. He literally just drew the figure. He's been doing a lot of that, not drawing backgrounds, and Kyle's been doing a lot of
like Kyle is doing all this work for Ethan, and it's like Oh, Kyle is a piece of no. I don't blame him. I don't hate him. I don't fucking have any
Yeah.
feelings
I mean,
for
if
against him.
he's got to do what he's got to do. I mean, there are
Exactly.
time
That's how I
constraints.
feel about basically Nasser and even to some extent Preston, is that they're just, I guess they're just trying to do whatever they feel they can do. Like, I don't like it and I'm not for it. And I'm not going to support them. But like, I'll still even retweet. Like, I notice you retweet Preston sometimes.
Mhm.
And it's usually something that's kind of worth fucking sharing, I think.
Right. I mean, I
So
don't stop.
that's why we do it.
You know, I don't necessarily unfollow people just
Mhm.
because I have a disagreement with them.
Yeah.
And that's stupid, you know.
I actually never followed Preston in the first place because when I wake up, I have to catch up on Twitter, and the more people I follow, the longer that's going to take. And it's like, the longer it takes, the longer it takes for me to actually start my fucking day. So I need to follow as few people as possible, and that means not following people that I would rather follow sometimes.
I follow a lot of people, but I use the Twitter lists. So I have private lists and so it keeps it so it only takes me like my first cup of coffee which is how long I'm gonna sit there anyway, to get through all
I
the
get kind of
important people that I'm interested in seeing.
I don't want to say it's like OCD, but it's like it's how I used to be with shitty webcomics, where every day I would go through my feed and anything that was worth sharing, I would fucking have to post or queue up for shitty webcomics, and then I would have to add what I thought about it if I needed to, and then I would have to tag it, and it's like just all this work, and it's more work than it's worth, and I still do it, and it's like I know this is for nothing. I'm not doing it for money, and it's like, if I follow some artist on Twitter and they posted something really good, then I got to take that link and I got to post it to our Discord. And it's just like, it's just the new version of doing that on the stupid ass old blog. But at the same time, it's good stuff. So it's like, I kind of wish I was just getting paid for that. I don't know. But yeah, it's as far as like me unfollowing or not following people, like I started following Mark Pellegrini recently, like within the past couple of weeks, just because it's like he's cool and
Right.
he posts a bunch of stuff and he's supportive. So I should, it was like out of obligation. And he posts
They
some
gave you a
interesting
shout
comments.
out on their thank you stream.
Yeah,
by the way.
he's actually, yeah, he mentioned us a couple times even. And you know what? And another thing is that I think he had to leave. Did he say he was leaving? Okay, he
Who?
has to head out. He could have said that. Why didn't he just say that?
Because
Anyway, well, I know why, but anyway, the thing is that it's a lot of people that I don't follow or do follow or well, actually on the thank you stream, they mention people that I don't like. And in Comicsgate, usually that would be like, well, I fucking have to hate you now because you thanked somebody I don't like. But for me, it's like, oh, it's just a person. Like
yeah.
whenever somebody says, hey, thanks to Preston, it's like, I can't even imagine what it's like to take that personally. But
Right.
I've seen so many people in Comicsgate who do. It's bizarre.
Yeah. I imagine it's because it's getting late and he has to work tomorrow and it's 2:00 for me here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's two here. I
I'm
want
gonna
to
have
finish reading the chat, but if you have to cash out, go ahead.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
It's
Well, thanks
that
to you
time.
and Dean for showing up tonight.
No, of course, anytime. You know that.
Yeah. Anytime you want me on your shows too, send an invite or something, so I don't have to beg in private.
Will you everybody chat? You guys have a great night, and I will catch you later.
Thanks to chat. See you later, Vicky. I'll still be on for a minute so anyone who wants to keep watching, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Jim Tuner mentioned here Nasser is just boring and a bad actor. Whatever game he and Ethan are playing is just stupid. I don't know if it's even a game with Nasser. I think he's just like, he wasn't getting money. He wasn't really seeing the returns. He wasn't getting what he wanted, and And it's hard when, because I was talking with Nasser in private a lot around that time, and he doesn't talk to me anymore, of course. And pulled his $1 funding from our Patreon. Your $1 will be missed. That's a candy bar I could have bought or something, or a fucking Gatorade, or even a lemonade, a fucking Lipton lemonade for $1. Anyways, it's also like fucking 8 or no, fucking 6 or 7% of a fucking Netflix. Not that they're fucking raising the price by another $1. I should cancel it, but my sister fucking kind of relies on our Netflix account, so I guess that's our fucking Christmas present to her. Anyways, but yeah, the thing is that, yeah, it's like I wasn't buying Nasser's comics anyways, and I was like, I could buy something from him or whatever, but I don't really get anything from anyone. And the only people who I unironically would be like, yes, I want that, to the point where I'm just going to spend my own money, is Tim and Mark. I'm going to me and my brother are like, yeah, as soon as Tim and Mark come out with a new comic, I want to see it as soon as possible. And I don't even know if I feel like it's hidden lore that we shouldn't even admit to, but it's true. See, to me and my brother, it's true means everything. That means there's no reason to ever hide it. With somebody like, Preston or Mecca, it's like if it happened behind the scenes, you should never, ever talk about it. It's like, I don't get that. I mean, I get it, but it's gay. I absolutely understand it. It makes you a faggot. It will make you a weak person. It makes you genetically inferior. You should have been gassed in the camps, as far as I'm concerned. Mecca would never win in a fight against me in a million years. None of these people ever would, especially against me and my brother teamed up. But I mean, that's not even saying much. But it's not just that they're weak physically, genetically, mentally. It's that they are cowards as people by nature, down to their soul. It's worse than just their genetics. It's their actual soul. I did have a point, and I don't remember what it is. I think I've had 1, 2, fucking. Anyways, I was talking about something. Gotham Knight mentions, even though months ago Mecca got pissy with Mike Mua because Mike had called off doing a drawn and quartered stream with that Mike Oxmall was supposed to be on to draw, which gives away that Mecca is Oxmall. I mean, I always thought that was like such a public joke. That's like, oh, is Mecca McCheese actually Mike Oxmall? Wink, wink. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, I get it. I don't really give a shit. Nasser makes Thomas and Dean sound smart, though. I guess that's nice. That's pretty nice. Yeah, one of the things about Nasser, though, what wasn't I talking about? Actually, fucking Tim and Mark's comic is literally. Oh yeah, that's right. Something I shouldn't admit. Tim and Mark were just sending us their comics for free, without us even really asking. We didn't ask, but we absolutely wanted them, and they're like, "Hey, we'll just send you that, not just for free, but Walmart Gold Standard was signed, and Tim even did like one of those sketch squares and shit, which I have framed on my wall behind me, and all this shit, and like Tim even signed it with like a little cute bunny thing, and when he fucking had it mailed to us, he doesn't send us those custom mailers because he just buys a fucking full-on box with like extra fucking bubble wrap and shit to send us that, and he's done that since Black Ops 2, and I think it was Black Ops 2 actually had the bunny face on it. But you even drew the little King Wolf logo on the fucking address slip on the front of the box. And I cut that out and I fucking have it saved in a little envelope and shit. And the thing is that, like that last unboxing, if you just scroll through the YouTube channel, you can see the last unboxing video we did. In fact, hold on a second. I want to play the background music. There's a background music from that. I don't know if this is audible. I don't know how audible this is or not. I'm going to turn this to 10%. It might be too audible. It might be too loud. Oh, yeah, that's right. No, it's not going to fucking play at all. Actually, I got a good idea. Hold on. Give me a minute. I'm going to set up a funny thing. In fact, yeah, actually, this is a good idea. Here's a good idea. Just reminder to self, though, that I want to talk about the whole Common America 2 thing. Where's the fucking new thing? Oh, yeah, it's going to start with a K, isn't it? K. Yeah, here. Fucking, my second monitor is a cheap piece of shit. It's actually like fucking. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, yeah. I don't know actually if this will. This should share the audio. Yeah. I don't know if this will share the audio. I'm testing this to find out. I'm sharing the second monitor with audio. Anyways, my point is that we were getting all those things, and if you scroll through the YouTube channel, you'll see the unboxing video for Common America 2. It came with 2 shirts, 2 long sleeve shirts in large, which is actually a size too big for us, but it's nice and comfortable. And I'm wearing the dark blue one right now. In fact, I wore the fucking red one for like a week or something. I basically wore it until a couple days ago, and I was like, let me throw this dirty clothes now. But we got that and Stravaganza, like Volume 1, which is like fucking, it's like 300 pages or something at least. It's fucking massive. But he was talking to us about that. It's like, oh, Stravaganza, that's a great comic. Nice. Anyways, he was talking to that about it. He's talking to us about that because we had reviewed that on our channel before our channel got banned. Because we actually review comics, unlike everyone else who just fucking complains about. Even other people in Comicsgate just will fucking complain about comics or give it empty praise or something. Like, is the fucking repeat not on? Where's the repeat button? Oh, no, it faded out. No? Okay, yeah. The repeat button wasn't on. I want to make sure. And yeah, it's like, I will not to name names because I'm not here to fact drag more people than we already are. But someone was like, oh, fucking, I liked Common America 1 more because it's a great origin story. And people who are familiar would be like, okay, I know what you're talking about. But, like, I'm not here. Like, the last thing I want to do, me and brother both, really, is to get people who like Tim and Mark to not like them anymore. So it's kind of a little hard for us to go around gloating and rubbing in everyone's faces, even though we warned we were not going to be gracious in victory. When it was finally time to come out that me and my brother wrote the backup story for Wall Knight 3, and that, people who had praised it while hating us were unwittingly praising the writing of someone who they were just completely unaware of that they hated. And I don't think that was necessarily Tim and Mark's intention, was like, haha, let's sneak in a story by someone. It was legitimately that they didn't just like our channel so much that they wanted us to write a comic. It was because we actually had a lot of experience writing comics, and that we were obviously, from talking for months and months, is that we're on the same page, and we had a lot of the same feelings about comics and what the next era of comics would actually be, and that it was a lot of it involved leaving these people in the dust who had all these stupid ideas of comics, like whining like little faggots that comics shouldn't be digital, and if you even offered any option for digital comics, they would start whining, which they do, and they constantly do, and it's fucking it's sad on their parts. But for us, for all of us, not just me and my brother, but for everyone sort of in the new era, we don't even notice you people who can't read comics unless they're physical. And we even understand that you mentally have that problem. But so, there's, and, seeing your own comic in a physical form is cool. And having other people get it is cool. But it's really just about the content. That's all it ever should be about, is the existence of the content. Okay, the music faded out, and I was like, it better not have turned off the repeat. So yeah, that's a lot of the in a way, the theory craft. Like, you can take all that and throw that in the garbage and say that's just our opinion, and then it doesn't matter. Because if you say that you don't like our fucking comic that's in digital only, and if you're whining about that, then to you, your opinion is all that matters. So, we understand that. But Tim and Mark, understood where we were coming from when we talked about how people, like, because me and my brother don't just have opinions. We didn't just make up our opinions. We saw how other people see digital comics, how they see comics, how they've been reading web comics. I actually fucking just watched that video by, like, it was the guy who did like Tales Gets Trolled 101 and Sonichu 101. I forgot Ben Saint, actually, I think is the guy's YouTube channel. And he's a Bernie bro, so he's kind of a faggot. But he did great videos about Tales Gets Trolled. And I liked Tales Gets Trolled before I saw his videos, but I liked his video about Tales Gets Trolled and Chris Chan, because it was like a good historical thing. And he had a bunch of people like sitting in chairs in front of him asking questions, raising their hands like it was an actual classroom. So I like those, and those are still good. And those are still funny and interesting. But I always that was the mindset, is that we just saw comics as comics. Like, they didn't have to be a thing you held in your hand, and if you felt that way, you didn't actually like the medium. You just liked the empty, shallow surface detail that you built up in your mind of what a comic is supposed to be, and not what comics actually are. And again, a lot of people felt this way, and it was Tim and Mark who, I'm not going to say that they are absolutely hard line on our fucking wavelength and they agree with every word that we say, but they understood where we came from. Whereas even in 2017, people in Comicsgate were getting angry. I'm not talking about not understanding where we're coming from, but actively getting angry just because, not directed at them or Comicsgate or anything, but we were saying, hey, a lot of people read comics, a lot of people now have been growing up reading webcomics. The younger generation you really think you're aiming for, they grew up reading pirated manga digitally off of a fucking website, or they grew up reading webcomics, Kill 6 Million Demons or Ava's Demon, that kind of shit, or fucking, I mean, the webcomics I read go way, way further back than that. I think we've mentioned Sluggy Freelance a few times, but Lord GT is, I think, not only one of the most perfect parodies of anything Dragon Ball, but I say it's easily superior to Dragon Ball in every single way, because Dragon Ball itself was supposed to be a parody of so many other things, not just Journey to the West, but like parodies of or takeoffs of Journey to the West. And again, I was thinking, hey, you know, Comicsgate might be a good thing. That would be cool if it fucking takes off and has some effect. And nobody in Comicsgate was even aware of the ideas of this kind of shit. I really hope my audio is picking up, by the way, for fucking it's not being drawn up by the music. I have it set to 10%, so it should be something. Anyways, my point is that even if you prefer physical comics, like if the idea of that comic also being released digitally doesn't make you angry, you can still be a man. And there are so many guys who like think that they're, you know, masculine, manly men who get pissed off about this. You'll never be a real man. You'll never be masculine. You'll never be an alpha Chad dude, bro. If you ever were even remotely bothered by the idea of a digital comic, you're weak. You're fucking like beta male is even giving you too much credit. Which the reality of the alpha beta fucking situation is not even really understood by most people. Because really a beta male is just a male who obeys, who's fucking like you know, the inherent nature of a beta male is worship or of anything. By the way, it doesn't matter. Even if you think worshiping God, that doesn't count. No, it doesn't. You will always be a beta male if you worship God. There's no other way around that. That's fucking all real alpha males never worship anyone above themselves, and you know that's the way it's always been historically, even in the animal world. The same way that hypergamy exists in the animal world. It's not just for human beings; it's for animals too. So, you know, there's always that element, and that's fine. Anyways, my point was originally about Tim and Mark's comics is that they're so good. They were sending them to us for free just because we all agreed, and that because they liked our videos, they liked what we had to say. They liked that we had a point of view that nobody else would admit to or fucking would ever say. So they didn't just send us their comics, they sent us like all these bonus things. Like we even got the fucking calendar for free and stuff. And I thought at some point it's like, we should just be paying for this because these are the only comics I want. So from now on, me and my brother agreed that we're not gonna be like, hey, could you send us the comics for free? It's like, I want to get the same packages that everyone else is getting. I want to get the fucking box that they're getting. And they did send us the box and latest thing. I mean, you watch the unboxing thing, you'll see they send us that cool the custom mailer. But it's like, they shouldn't have to send us anything for free because I actually want to pay for their comics. And that's really the difference with everyone else's comics is Tim and Mark's comics are the ones I don't even want to get for free. I want to pay. I want to find a comic that I want to pay money for. And Tim and Mark's comics are the only comics that I even really... And there's other good comics out there, I'm sure, that I haven't found or even could consider. But I already know from Tim and Mark's comics, from reading them, that they're the kind of thing that I want to pay money, not just read, but pay money for, that I actually want to anticipate. Because nobody else really has that mindset of making comics that nobody else wants to make, that are so different, that are so completely almost out of the loop, that are unhip, that aren't cool in the established comics world. It's really because when you think about it, what do you think about? You think people who have been reading Marvel and DC, it's like that's the least cool thing fucking humanly possible. It's the gayest shit ever. Even with the movies, a lot of people consider the movies to be totally gay because they're just social. They're so socially acceptable, and that's fucking. It's lame. There's nothing lamer today than ever before, but especially today, there's nothing lamer than being socially acceptable. And the Marvel movies aren't bad movies. They're entertaining popcorn fluff, that kind of thing. If you don't take them any more seriously, they're fucking cool. But when it comes to comics can do something that the movies can't, which is be unacceptable. And when I read Tim and Mark's comics, especially, it's funny because we even, we fucking now can publicly admit, me and my brother, as at least on a collective fucking super conscious level, wrote the last 8 pages. I actually did the grunt work. The thing is, and I don't say this enough, but I could never have written that backup story, Goblin Slayer, the last 8 pages of Wall Might 3. I did the grunt work. I did the writing it into a script, but I never could have done that, especially the way I did it, if it wasn't for my brother. And my brother didn't tell me to add ideas. The thing is, he didn't need to. He was always the one that actually read Little Green Footballs and Instapundit. He was the one who... other people put it, obsessed over, right-wing politics. But he really didn't. He was just looking at what the next wave actually was going to be. The same way with, the Manosphere in MGTOW, is that people who followed my channel before I fucking got rid of all the old Shitty Webcomics podcasts episodes, even when they were boring and that kind of shit, was the stuff we would talk about back then was still aware of it. It didn't have to be an endorsement of it. It had to be aware of it. And a lot of people were brushing it off and being like, ooh, fucking, ooh, they're just bitter, not saying about us, but saying about MGTOWs and the Manosphere and men's rights advocates and all that stuff, that they were bitter, those are bitter guys who can't get laid or any of that kind of shit. And what we did, but most especially my brother, better than I ever did or could, was that he paid attention. He actually sunk in to what the people were saying, the actual content of what people were saying that everyone else was ignoring. And my brother gets that, and then me, I get that almost secondhand from him in a sort of filtered way, and then I'm able to just contain that knowledge, and it sort of filters down into a lot of the general idea and the worldview of then what gets written. So in every way, everything I write is psychically co-written by my brother. If you just see Randisha Diaz on there, that means my brother too, but in that subconscious way, in every single way. And my brother doesn't need credit. My brother has never said, hey, why don't you put my name? He would never even think about it. But every single time, his credit deserves to be on there just as much. So if you see Raymond Porce on there, usually it's just because he deserves credit just as much. So, 1 second. I will wrap up soon. I have to fucking piss like a fire horse. But anyways, when it comes to people we endorse or are friendly with or whatever, or people that we're generally supportive of, like Preston, we were generally supportive of, but we're like, hey, Preston's cool and stuff. But when Preston does something openly corrupt, we're like, oh, I don't like that. I'm not in favor of that anymore. But we're not going to fucking attack him because, again, it's not really our business. It's not until other people are looking to push us out. And that's actually what always happened about Comicsgate before even Ethan was involved. It was like from the very beginning. In fact, before fucking even Richard's whole thing. And part of that is, proven objectively by the whole attitude towards digital comics. Is it wasn't just an aversion to digital comics. It was an actual effeminate anger towards digital comics by people who would then later be part of Comicsgate. Like Richard C. Meyer became a faggoty little bitch. Objectively, and that is, again, that's not my opinion. That's not my assessment. That's a lot of other people who do know better, who are saying, yeah, Ethan, that fucking, Richard's a fucking little bitch about this, or all the stuff about Ethan and stuff. That's not our opinion. A lot of people, I think, get that mistaken. A lot of people who are just, in the dark, the proles, the viewers, the general watchers, the people who haven't really seen behind the scenes. They don't really know. When it comes to the real stuff that had been happening with Comicsgate, they don't really have any clue. That includes everyone in War Campaign, by the way. Even the people in War Campaign who are like, yeah, Ethan paid us money to attack other customers and stuff. Even they don't really know as much behind the scenes as what other people have told us that had been happening. I do still want to go through the chat. But anyways, yeah, as far as the whole situation with Tim and Mark is that it's not just that we have some agreements with each other, it's that they actually make comics that other people don't seem interested in making, that actually, it's not about actively wanting to, it's not saying, I want to make comics that appeal to the younger generation, because any fucking stupid asshole can say that. Tim and Mark don't say that. They make comics that appeal to that weird sort of dark web underground that's not like creepy and sleazy, but yeah, the thing I was saying, wow, this goes, I really derailed a billion times over, but what I was saying was that our backup story, that 8-page backup story, was us, of course. But when I read the rest of Wall Might 3 that was just Tim and Mark, I was like, holy shit, they're really getting away with that? And it's like, not in a way that fucking is like, they can't keep getting away with it, but in the way that's like, it's the kind of comics I would want to read that no one else has the balls to make. Like, not a single person in Comicsgate ever had the balls to even make like 1% of what Tim and Mark got away with in just the part of Wall Might 3 that me and my brother didn't write. There's like all the references to abortion and fucking, like, they wanted to abort baby liberty, and fucking, the Democrats are fucking actively trying to murder babies, and like post-term abortion is like, this is post-term abortion even for you Democrats. It's just like so fucking just like unrepentantly in your face about that. Because, like, I don't want to, like, fucking reveal the deepest lore, but Tim and Mark, we talked a few times about stuff. Me and my brother would talk to them about that, and they were talking about how this is the last Wall Might they're ever going to do. And because it's the last Wall Might they're ever going to do, they're going to be like, we'll just do everything whatever the fuck we want. And that's part of why they had us write the backup story, which included being about Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, really think about this. What comic book on store shelves, or even not on store shelves, just even a web comic on fucking Twitter or fucking Gab or anything, even did anything about Jeffrey Epstein? Maybe like Stone Toss, or fucking like really good comics never gets that blamed with its politics. Really good comics is though really good, but like Wormwood and fucking even the pumpkin head guy or something, who I don't even think his comics are that good, but fucking all of them do just right-wing politics blatantly right out in the open, who else aside from them, like fucking on a book that's getting published on store shelves and shit, would even broach the subject of fucking Jeffrey Epstein, even as like a halfway parody? But that was Tim and Mark's idea. They told us, hey, because me and my brother, they told us, hey, they told us, write a comic. We want you to write a backup story. So we immediately started coming up with ideas about how Wall might kick flips fucking Hillary into a prison cell and then hits the button that says extra jail and it locks him up in a second jail cell or something. That was one of my brother's ideas. And then Tim told me, because Tim was like the fucking he's a representative who just fucking talked to me. So Tim was like, okay, me and Mark want you to come up with a story about Jeffrey Epstein. So all the ideas we had just got thrown into the garbage, but then start all over. And just to show, like, when you see people in Comicsgate who are like, I'm still writing the new issue of Lady Alchemy. It's still being written, or I just finished writing it. It's going to, any of that shit. When Tim specifically told me I want you guys to do a comic about Jeffrey Epstein, it was like, I think 2 days I had the 8-page story done, fucking blast, and they didn't even really edit it because they didn't need to, because I had many years of experience of just self-editing, not even for published stories, but just learning the hard way and being my own worst critic and all that shit. And that's another reason why Tim and Mark asked us to do that, to fucking write a backup stories, because we actually had experience writing comics and making comics, whereas other people in Comicsgate, even Tim and Mark's own supporters, had no experience and were completely clueless and were just, general supporters, which is always a good thing. It's one of those reasons why you shouldn't meet your heroes, though. At the same time, the heroes shouldn't meet their fans, because you should just be able to make whatever you think. You shouldn't be pandering, and that's one thing about Tim and Mark, is that they don't pander. They want to make the comics that they want to read. And it's the same, that's one of the commonalities that me and my brother and Tim and Mark always had, is that we always wanted to read the kinds of comics that we would write, or that, that kind of thing. Anyways, my bladder feels like it's going to fucking explode. So, and I don't want to go over 2 hours, but here, I'll just go through the chat. Rainbow Brute keeps having either 5 fingers or one hand has 4 fingers one moment, then 5 again. So yeah, again, that's another thing, is that Cyberfrog 2 isn't even done. So when it comes to Rainbow Brute, I wouldn't even expect that until 2022. That's like over 100 years from now. Anyways, I mean, for supposedly being a pro, he keeps fucking up things and then sells them like it. That's another thing that I didn't even notice, because I didn't know anything about Ethan's art, but I remember seeing a thread on CO, of all places, which I guess Ethan found out that we read, and probably found out through us, is that a bunch of people on CO went through his art and just started savaging it, because the fucking, even just his cover art for like Green Lantern had horrific nightmare fucking proportions and anatomy that was just blatantly incompetent. It's Liefeldian. Here's the thing, Liefeld, you could say he has a style. It's not an excuse. Style is usually, it's just, the style is an excuse for incompetent art and that kind of shit. But Liefeld, eventually you're just like, whatever, it's Liefeld. His art sucks. But with Ethan, he's not supposed to even have that excuse, so it's that much more embarrassing. Jim Tuner, as usual, has delightful comments. Everyone else has some delightful comments here. Jim Tuner, though, mentions, at the pace he's going on Wrecked Planet, he will not finish the Rainbow Brute art until 2023, which is, like, that sounds like a joke, but that's probably going to be true. And again, He's just trying to pander to a specific base, usually to specific pay pegs. Nose is still snuffling. That's from beer. He's so thin-skinned. Brute keeps bouncing from either having 4 or 5 fingers. A rainbow brute. Sometimes both hands are right. Yeah, that's another thing I noticed about also John Malin, who's very not even overrated. He sucks. John Malin's art is terrible. He's regularly drawn people with like 2 right hands and that kind of shit. He's still not done with Rectipine. No, he's apparently not even halfway done with the line art. And the thing is, the most of the work is in the coloring, and Ethan Van Sciver does not do the coloring. He has Kyle do the coloring, but the pencils and inking are by Ethan, and he doesn't even do 1 page a day. He doesn't even do 1 page a week, apparently, because he has had 52 weeks to do Cyberfrog 2, and he's only about 20 to maybe 30 pages done so far of just line art. Mead says not even close to being it's about halfway apparently. And again, this is from people who pay attention. Ethan's had me blocked for a long time, for years, because he's a weak person, genetically but also emotionally. Jim mentions he's done with 24 pages of a 48 page on the main book, and then not much of anything done on the Ashcan. Yeah, that's another thing. Cyberfrog 2 is supposed to be 48 pages plus an Ashcan. Again, that was what he tried to get away with. On Cyberfrog 1, where it was going to be 80 pages, he did 40 pages, and then he eventually, months later, released an Ashcan as a separate thing, even though all of it was supposed to be done at the same time. Ethan almost always produces at a 1 page of art a week, like a clock. It seems to be about less than that, though, because again, he's had a fucking over a year. This is a good point too. By Bad Comic Review Streams says, why rush it? He's got the YouTube money and diehard fans. Yeah, that actually is usually what makes you slower, is knowing ahead of time. It's like when you know you have money you can spend that's coming in, you tend to try and spend it ahead of time. With a lot of people. I mean, some people are more responsible. I've done it. Other people do it. I guess there's a certain specific kind of phrase for it, but I won't say it on YouTube. Maybe if I was just on DLive. But anyways. So Blood Honey is his only complete book. He finished Blood Honey, and then he did release the Ashcan. But again, one thing that I think is very interesting is that his supporter base really had nothing much to say about it. In fact, one of the reviews I mentioned from one of his biggest supporters said that they were not very impressed with the writing, at least. They said that the art was good, but usually what that means is that the coloring is good. And there is detail in his line art, but again, a lot of it is the anatomy is still wonky and inaccurate. And in fact, if you went through it with a real fucking experienced artist, they would be able to easily point out a lot of very blatant flaws with Ethan's line art. As far as the coloring, I'm not gonna fucking go after that, because that's clearly where the heavy lifting is done, and that guy doing the coloring is not getting nearly as much money as he deserves. It's sad, but Tim released at least 2 books in the same year. I think it was actually 3. He did Black Ops 3, and then Walmart 3 and Common America 2, all in 2020. All of those are in 2020, and I think that's I think there's another book. Like, didn't Space Force come out at the beginning of I don't know. Maybe not. I just, if you just count those 3 books, again, just the page count, because each of those books is like fucking 60 pages, and that's 60 pages of full art and story. And because what fucking Ethan did with Cyberfrog was it was 48 pages, and then he padded it out with another 20 pages of just concept art that some of that he did in the 90s. So it's like old concept art. And he wanted to take credit. He wanted credit for that, and people, his pay pigs, gave him credit for it. Bean mentions I've gotten banned from Twitter because how I name my list. So yeah, that's another thing. Vicky was talking about how making lists for like people you follow. I don't do that. I've seen people add me to lists and they're like, oh, Nazi person or whatever, or fucking a rape apologist or something like that. And it's like, well, fuck. If you had any idea. But Baz says, or Baz, I'll be collecting Social Security by the time the Cyberfrog arc will be finished. Who the F cares? I mean, not that it even has an arc, of course. Gotham Knight mentions, though, Tim and Mark are worth it. Backing them is worth it. And they're doing comics with the right heart and all. See, that's the thing, is that we could just keep getting all their books for free, probably. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying that out loud. But we've been getting pretty much all of their books for free, and it's good because it's hard to afford all of that. But at this point, when I consider it, it's like the only comic I would buy. So it's actually easy to afford. Jim Turner mentions the only people fooled by Mike Oxmall were Tug and Liam in that first stream, which goes to show how stupid they are. Fucking Tug and Liam. Gee, what a shock. They're stupid. Anyways, like the ending of 7, if you kill him, he'll win. In this case, you and brother are John Doe, and Comicsgate is Brad Pitt's character. Well, I mean, that's almost giving them too much credit, but I do appreciate the metaphor, and I think it's kind of accurate. Well, in fact, that was one of the things that we did, is that we knew, like, Liam flagged our first public review of his shitty comic, because his comic is bad. In fact, that was, I highly recommend, go to Vickyverse. Her latest video is a little quiet, but it's a good video, and it's about one of Liam's. I thought it would just be a fanfic, but it's written it's written like a synopsis of a movie script. It's so terrible. He can't write for shit, and it's from at least after the movie Prometheus came out, which there's no excuse for. There's no excuse for still writing like that. So, so, and it's like, yeah, it's like, what's wrong with him? But yeah, the same way that the John Doe bad guy, the wonderful Kevin Spacey in 7, sort of creates a trap to be murdered by Brad Pitt at the end of it. Spoilers for a movie that's over 20 years old or something. But it is a good movie. Even being spoiled, to be honest, the movie's still good, I would say. So if you haven't seen 7, I would still recommend it. But yeah, the way that he murders Brad Pitt's wife and puts her head in a box to be delivered to this like isolated area to live out like the final sin of wrath. And it's like, and his partner is the old crusty partner who's seen it all and that kind of stuff. But he's smarter because he's older, and is played by Morgan Freeman. It's like, if you kill this guy, he wins because he lives out the whole 7 sins, that his goofy vision, of a crazy guy. But he wants you to take revenge, and Brad Pitt is like very conflicted. It's actually a really good scene. It's considered a great ending, a great fucking thriller ending, and gritty and grim, and one of those things where you can't say that Brad Pitt did the wrong thing even. It's why that's 7 is a good movie, but it is that same mindset where Liam flagged our channel. He copyright struck. It's not just flagging, but copyright striking, which YouTube takes retardedly seriously, and was objectively wrong, to the point where it was obviously objectively wrong, and you see all the people who behind the scenes hated us because they were on Ethan's side, and you know, couldn't admit it. They were they couldn't quite come out and say it, but at the same time it was so obvious that Liam was in the wrong that you know, we, like, at first even Ethan was like, well, they shouldn't have fucking posted reviews of his comic, they were stealing his copyright after all, even though the reviews were still completely publicly available. They were on our BitChute channel, even they were right out in the open, anyone could see them, but people didn't want to, of course. People didn't want to be able to judge for themselves. They wanted to take Liam's word for it. Ethan Van Sciver did take Liam's word for it. There's no way around that. Ethan Van Sciver was on Liam's side the entire time until our channel got taken down and other people started saying Liam is a false flagger. He's a faggot fagging, you know, queer. All of a sudden, after that happened, notice the timing of that. After that happened, Ethan started distancing himself to Liam. And the thing is, that never would have happened, never for a second would have happened if we didn't get Liam to do that. So basically what we did was and we knew we were doing that. That's why I chose, me and my brother was like, oh man, this is going to fuck up Liam. This is going to fuck up Comicsgate. This is going to fuck up Ethan too. We made all of the videos public. It's like, our channel could get taken down. And my brother was like, yeah, make sure you back up those videos. So I took as many videos as I could from the YouTube, and I backed them up onto the BitChute. You notice that happened right at the exact same time that our entire channel was getting false flagged by Liam. And again, even at that time, Ethan was still on Liam's side. Even as our channel got taken down, and Ethan was like, well, they shouldn't have done that. And then all of a sudden, other people were like, oh shit, Liam is officially a false flag. Like, they didn't notice that Comicsgate was up to that kind of behavior, even though they had been for a long time before that. This is not new. What Liam did to our channel was not new, even for our channel, but even for other people, like other customers in Comicsgate were getting attacked by Comicsgate, by Ethan specifically. And Ethan was paying people. The paper trail was completely out in the open in public. So yeah, all that happened, and we intentionally did that. We intentionally made all of those other parts of the Xenotype review public so that Liam would strike them and destroy Comicsgate. And look at what happened. There's no denying that it happened. The thing is, what many of you probably don't realize is that we not only knew it happened, but we told other people that was going to happen, and they came to us afterwards and like, wow, you completely called that. And some people are like, wow, you destroyed your own channel for that. And it's like, to fucking like do damage to the entire movement. You look at Ethan, he's not even going to wear the name Comicsgate, which I personally don't believe. I think he'll try to still do it, but you know, that's the thing. The damage is done either way, and we didn't really do it. We made them do it to themselves. And we told people we're going to get Comicsgate to destroy themselves. And other people now, you know, behind the scenes, people who were within Comicsgate, people who've been behind the scenes too, people who've seen seen all the stuff that had been happening, people who had known about the that rich guy from Texas, the plastic surgeon from Texas, who had known about that and told us about that last year even. They're like, wow, you fucking actually got them to basically just rip each other and themselves apart. And look at what Comicsgate did. And most people still have no idea. They have no awareness that we played them against themselves the entire time. And it wasn't just us. And it wasn't just that. But it's all a part of the whole thing all together at the same time. So I think that's worth mentioning. I've gone over 2 hours now. Yeah, the whole Oxmall thing. When you think about it, what even happened to Mecca? Fucking, hey Mecca, where's his comic? And we were just laughing about that. Fucking Mecca was going to come out with a comic. No, again, what do these people even do? They make promises, they make promises, they make promises, then nothing. Meanwhile, we've actually fucking released comics. We're out with other people making comics because we actually care about fucking putting out the work, not just promising and doing dumb gay bullshit. Let's see. There's some other shit that I haven't been keeping up with, but the stuff in the chat is interesting enough. But it's late. It's 3 a.m. I usually me and my brother have always been night owls since we were teenagers. I guess we have the neon disease as was said in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Once the neon lights turn on, we wake up. That kind of thing. We've always been like that. And that's actually where the name Layli comes from. It's kind of a great bit of serendipity. The name Layli is a Persian name meaning nocturnal. And I think that's it's very fitting for prime waifu material. In fact, I should try and get a fucking National Waifu Association thing for Layli because she's been sort of she's been material for that since for many fucking years at this point. Before all of this shit, before even fucking 2017. That's what a lot of the old fans going back to the blog mentioned. Someone fucking mentioned that in the chat, and I sort of missed out on that. But the whole thing with Layli is that she was kind of meant to be that, and so it's very fitting, and that's why also she makes a lot of appearances. In fact, I was thinking of doing a thing. I was thinking of doing a scroll through of Princess High Ground, and I still didn't do that. We should do that in the future, so somebody remind me. But Layli also has had so many appearances in Tim and Mark's books for the past fucking over a year now. That I could do an entire show just about all the cameos. It wouldn't be a long show. It certainly would be as long as this, but it would be a nice show to just show all the cameos of all the references to Layli in Black Ops, starting in Black Ops 2, I think was the first one. And it could have been earlier than that. But I remember Tim was following me before that. Anyways, all right. Now is a good time to wrap up. So we'll see you next time, maybe at a more presentable hour. So thanks for showing up. And also, again, thanks to Vicky and DA. So DA Talks and Vickyverse on YouTube to check them out. And me and my brother might do another stream at some point during this month. Just while we're sitting around. But until then, make sure to unlike, share, uncomment, don't subscribe. Check out our comics. Are the only good some of the only good comics, aside from Tim and Mark's, and Doug also puts out some good stuff. But you can check out our superior comics in the description below. And remember, should have listened to Shitty Web Comics.